What on earth is Ethereum? I mean, I keep hearing about it all the time. I've seen it's the second largest cryptocurrency around, but I just can't seem to wrap my head around it. Is it as revolutionary as Bitcoin? Can it actually change the world as we know it? If you want to have a better understanding of Ethereum but are tired of explanations that sound like complete technical gibberish, continue, kindly click the subscribe button and press the bell icon. We'll answer these questions and more. Before we get into Ethereum, we need to do a quick recap about Bitcoin, since it's the basis from which Ethereum was born. By now, you probably know that Bitcoin is a form of decentralized money. And if you still have some questions about what that means or how it works, what is Bitcoin? Before Bitcoin was invented, the only way to use money digitally was through an intermediary like a bank or PayPal. Even then, the money used was still a government-issued and controlled currency. However, Bitcoin changed all that by creating a decentralized form of currency that individuals could trade directly without the need for an intermediary. Each Bitcoin transaction is validated and confirmed by the entire Bitcoin network. There's no single point of failure, so the system is virtually impossible to shut down. Well, now that we know that money can be decentralized, other functions of society that are centralized today would be better served on a decentralized system. What about voting? Voting requires a central authority to count and validate votes. Real estate transfer records currently use centralized property registration authorities. Social networks like Facebook are based on centralized servers that control all of the data we upload to them. What if we could use the technology behind Bitcoin, more commonly known as blockchain, to decentralize other things as well? The interesting thing about blockchain technology is that it's actually the byproduct of the Bitcoin invention. Blockchain technology was created by fusing already existing technologies like cryptography, proof of work, and decentralized network architecture together in order to create a system that can reach decisions without a central authority. A system on top of which you can build applications and programs. A currency like Bitcoin is just one of the options. So this got people very excited, and they began to explore what else can we decentralize. However, in order for a system to be truly decentralized, it needs a large network of computers to run it. Ethereum was first proposed in late 2013, and then brought to life in 2014 by Vitalik Buterin, who at the time was the co-founder of Bitcoin magazine. Ethereum is the do-it-yourself platform for decentralized programs, also known as dApps, decentralized apps. If you want to create a decentralized program that no single person controls, all you have to do is learn the Ethereum programming language called Solidity and begin coding. The Ethereum platform has thousands of independent computers running it, meaning it's fully decentralized. Ethereum is the infrastructure for running dApps worldwide. It's not a currency, it's a platform. The currency used to incentivize the network is called Ether. More on that later. Ethereum's goal is to truly decentralize the internet. Wait! The internet is centralized? I thought the internet already was decentralized, and that anyone can start their own site. While in theory that might be, in practice Amazon, Google, Facebook, Netflix, and other giants control most of the World Wide Web. There's almost no activity on the web. Ethereum allows people to connect directly with each other, without a central authority to take care of things. It's a network of computers that together combine into one powerful, decentralized. So now you know what Ethereum does, but we haven't touched upon how it does it. Ethereum's coding language, Solidity, writes smart contracts that are the logic that runs dApps. Let me explain. In real life, all a contract is a set of ifs and thens, meaning a set of conditions in action. If I pay my landlord $1,500 on the first of the month, then he lets me use my apartment. It's exactly how smart contracts work on Ethereum. Ethereum developers write the conditions for their program or dApp, and then the Ethereum network executes it. They are called smart contracts because they deal with all of the aspects of the contract: enforcement, management, performance, and payment. For example, if I have a smart contract that is used for paying rent, the landlord doesn't need to actively collect the money. The contract itself knows if the money has been sent. Then I will be able to open my apartment door. If I missed my payment, I will be locked out. However, smart contracts also have their downsides. Going back to my previous example, instead of having to kick out a renter that isn't paying, a smart contract would lock the non-paying renter out of their apartment. A truly intelligent contract, on the other hand, would take into account other factors as well, such as extenuating circumstances, the spirit with which the contract was written, and it would also be able to make exceptions if warranted. In other words, it would act like a really good judge. Instead, A smart contract in the context of Ethereum is not intelligent at all. It's actually uncompromisingly letter strict. It follows the rules down to a T and can't take any secondary considerations or the spirit of the law into account. Like what commonly happens with real-world contracts. Once a smart contract is deployed on the Ethereum network, it cannot be edited or corrected, even by its original author. It's immutable. The only way to change this contract would be to convince the entire Ethereum network that a change should be made, and that's virtually impossible. This creates a very serious problem since, unlike Bitcoin, Ethereum was built with the ability to create really complex contracts, and complex contracts are very difficult to secure. With any contract, the more complicated it is, the harder it is to enforce, as more room is left for interpretations, or more clauses must be written to deal with contingencies. With smart contracts, well, that all came to a crashing halt when the DAO event happened. DAO, or DAO, stands for Decentralized Autonomous Organization, which allowed users to deposit money and get returns based on the investments that the DAO made. The decisions themselves would be crowdsourced and decentralized. The DAO raised $150 million in Ethereum currency, Ether, when Ether was trading around $20. While this all sounded very good, the code wasn't secured very well and resulted in someone figuring out a way to drain the DAO out of money. Now you could say that the person who drained the DAO was a hacker, but some would argue that this was just someone who was taking advantage of the loopholes he found in the DAO's smart contract. This isn't very different than a creative lawyer figuring out a loophole in the current law to effect a positive result for his client. What happened next is that the Ethereum community decided that code no longer is law and changed the Ethereum rules. This is very similar to the way Bitcoin miners get paid for maintaining the Bitcoin blockchain. In order to deploy a smart contract to the Ethereum platform, its author must pay to do so. That payment is made in the form of Ether. This is done so that people will write optimized and efficient code and won't waste the Ethereum network computing power on unnecessary tasks. Hopefully by now you have a better understanding of what Ethereum is. A network of computers working together to replace the centralized model of programs and companies which run the internet today. You may still have some questions. If so, just leave them in the comment section below. And if you're watching this video on YouTube and enjoy what you've seen, don't forget to hit the like button.